vibe is real cool. I couldn't help but notice you across the room. Oh, let's follow up with a drink, you know it's on me. Then maybe we can talk a little bit so we can see if this night can lead to you staying with me.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Icon. And once again, we on 95 South TV. You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, I got to thank God for this opportunity because without him, there'll be no us. Next, I got to introduce my right-hand man, your baby mama favorite host, Barry White Jr. voice himself, Jacob the Great. What's going on, fam?
Hey man, happy Sunday to everybody. Glad to be in the land of the living, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So go ahead and introduce this young man so we can get this interview cracking.
Man, we got Mr. RaShawn Aaron, educator, motivator, you know, just all around community guy, and most important, man, he loved he loved the children of the future and just trying to lead them into a better way so they can be successful citizens of tomorrow, man. Welcome, my brother.
Hey, thank y'all for having me. It's an honor to be here, man. Uh, I definitely appreciate, y'all having me on tonight.
No doubt, no doubt, man. So, who is RaShawn Aaron, man?
RaShawn Aaron, man, he wears many hats, man. I'm proud of all of them. Uh, I'm a Head Start teacher of 16 years. I've also been able to branch off into my own after-school program, which is called the Village Educational / Community Services. I also am a facilitator of a fatherhood program here, man. And these different hats, really, I think, make up, to help to, make Mr. Aaron, who he is, man. It's a wonderful feeling to feel as though that you are able to give the goodness and the blessings of you to others, man. And I feel as though, even though if you looked at me, I'm about 6'7", man. I play, basketball, and definitely thought, at one period of time I was going to the league, and the good man upstairs, had plans, for me in other places. So it's a blessing to, be a blessing.
Oh, okay. So, after basketball, man, what was how did it become your final decision to choose to be an educator?
It happened organically, man. I was in Spartanburg Methodist. I stopped playing basketball, and I had a work study. And my work study was at the Salvation Army in Spartanburg, man. And while I was there, I was helping kids with their homework. They had a little gym in there. I got to, interact with the kids, man. And, I can't help, the way it made me feel, and just to see that, an ability to feel as though you were able to, spark light in others as they are, sparking light in you, was something that, really changed my life. And from there, I was more interested into, the education field.
Okay, so you're down in Dillon, South Carolina, and
Yes,
you
sir.
are a Head Start teacher. So, what was those challenges and obstacles that you had to face as far as being a Head Start teacher, and how much did you learn, as you got really active in being a teacher in your school district?
Actually, yes. It was a lot. But I definitely feel as though there were a lot of people along the way that, embraced what I was able to bring to the table and, helped me along the way, man. There are plenty of people, Head Start teachers, center managers in our district that really embraced what I brought to the table and also, helped me to, strive to be the best that I can be. And then when it comes to, honestly, in my experiences, when it comes to males in early education, especially Head Start, you can get this misconception that, all I do is just, pick up the babies and spin them around and all we do is play. But a lot is taught through play. But, it's a lot more intentional than the average eye may see.
Okay. I come up with you.
Okay, so let's get back to this fathers program. Because the one thing reason I really want to talk about that is because a lot of times, especially in the black community, we always want to talk about how the black man is not there, he's absent, he's not present, he's not doing his part, and we get a bad rap as black men in our own community. So, kind of talk about your fathers program and what it consists of and the impact that it's having.
Man, it has been a phenomenal spark in Dillon, South Carolina, and I feel like even bigger than that. It has been. It was started by a lady named Shirlene Lewis. She's the director of the first Dillon County First Steps, and I was honored to be put on the team as one of the facilitators, man. And you'd be surprised at like the bond that has been created, the network, and also just a safe space for men, man, to really sometimes speak their truth and be comfortable enough to speak that truth, man. Because it's sometimes just inbred in our DNA to sometimes just hold it, take it, make it do what it do. But even I see it in our kids, but it's in our, in our fathers and our men as well. It sometimes can be so overwhelming and you don't have a space to confide and express and to network and to have, brothers to say, hey, you're not going through this alone. We may not have been through the same experience that you've been through, but you don't walk through the fire alone, man. And it has been a blessing, man. I know, serviced over 200 fathers. We've been doing the program, I know, about 4 years. And it's been beautiful. We meet every Wednesday at the Wellness Center. We've been on trips, man. We've had graduation ceremonies. But the bigger aspect of that is not only that we're coming together and we're building these bonds in this network, but helping fathers to do better. And not only do better, but want better. We've helped fathers to get job placement. We've helped fathers when it comes to getting custody of their kids, man. It's just been a phenomenal thing to be a part of. And, it's motivation to, just to see that given the right tools, the right environment, that positivity and love and understanding amongst everyone, not only just men. We have a men, a woman's, and a children program that meets, man. But the way we've been able to bring fathers together near and far, man, has been a phenomenal experience to be a part of. Uh-oh. I can't hear you.
I come you on mute. I come you on mute.
My bad, I was on mute. Randy Page was asking, how is your experience as a student athlete translate to the classroom as a teacher and a mentor?
One of my favorite teachers. He was the science teacher, but he also was my B team and ended up being my varsity head coach, man. He's the one. I have a story. I was sitting on the bus one game, kind of upset about, my playing time. And he came and sat with me and he said, "You would make a good teacher." And at the time, I can just imagine the look that I gave him because, that was the furthest thing that was, from my mind. I was like, I'm going pro. But yet there were so many life lessons that he taught me in the classroom and on the basketball court, man. Where that, I have a passion for basketball that started early with my father. I played basketball from when I was maybe 7 years old, reg, up to high school, and played college ball. And there's a lot of things that, basketball can teach you to also help you to be a great educator, but also help you to be a great person, man. You have to understand teamwork, sacrifice, uh, work ethic. There's so many things that basketball has, taught me, and continues to teach me. I still play a little bit. I'm about retired, but I still can shoot a little bit, man. And basketball has been something that is also was a thing that kept me grounded in an environment where I definitely could have went left. There were plenty of times where the basketball was a friend that was saying, "Hey, maybe you don't need to go up here, or maybe you don't need to do this. Continue to shoot this jump shot, or work on your game." And I definitely feel as though basketball, in a way, saved me from maybe being in a different situation than I am today.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you this, and you kind of perfect person to ask about this because me and Jacob been talking about this a lot over the last couple of years when they talk about our youth. And you've taught for 16 years. So you've taught through what they call it the COVID era of babies,
Yes.
and the what's the generation before that? I always get the name Generation X, whatever it's called.
Yeah, I
So
think it's like it might be Gen X. It might be Gen
Gen
X.
X. So you've taught during the Gen X and the COVID baby era. So what have you seen in the difference in those two eras alone?
Um, I definitely can see a difference in maybe attention span, differences in behavior. Um, uh, these last couple of years, just in my experiences, we have definitely seen a lot of kids that are dealing with a lot more social and emotional issues coming into a Head Start. Definitely. Also, utilizing of technology. You'll be amazed at how you'll see a 3-year-old and they know how to go to YouTube and go to whatever video they may want to see, but they don't know all their letters. You know what I'm saying? It's just uh, a different day and age.
Yeah.
And I feel as though, like, as a true educator, we must constantly strive to adapt to the child. And
Mhm.
like I say, being in a technology age, utilizing that for the positivity, not utilizing that as a pacifier to have kids to be in a certain demeanor that you may want. Um, but yes, and then also a behavior. And I'm not a doctor, but I will also say that I have seen not only in Head Start, but in my after school program, we're having seems to be more kids that are being diagnosed of being, along the spectrum, some type of,
Mhm.
learning disability or something that it may be. And the way I teach here at the village, we're more like the village. We
Mhm.
all are in one like setting together, and that's all ages. And I feel like that plays a valuable impact too. I feel like just because a child may learn differently, um, like I don't feel as though they may need to be in in certain extenses they may, but I have seen children thrive when they are placed amongst all types of children, and I feel like that is something that I believe in too, man. Definitely.
It's funny you say that because my granddaughter, I remember when she was 2 and she was navigating through YouTube and all of that. And I'm like, what? I'm like, how does she know where to go to? And it blew my mind. Like, this is crazy. You know what I mean, or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. And I got another question, and either one of y'all can answer this question. Because I said, 'cause, I drive, I'm on the road a lot, so maybe I missed a lot of stuff. Because I'll be on my own little world out there over the road. When did the word spectrum come in play? When the first time I heard it, I didn't know what that meant. I'm like, spectrum, what is that? So I was confused. So I'm like, what
Yeah.
is spectrum? So when did that come in? So is that supposed to replace autism? The word autism? I'm guessing.
Um, well, to not necessarily to replace it, but they're just saying that as far as spectrum, like there's so many levels of autism and ADHD that they can, and I've seen it myself. Some of the most intelligent individuals that I've interacted with were on the spectrum. I had a boy; he was 4 years old, and out of memory he could draw the Google and the Nickelodeon sign like out his head. The colors and everything had to be perfect. But yet, on another degree of that, when it came to like social and emotional empathy, having empathy for other people's feelings, just sometimes just reacting on impulse, knock a kid toy over or something like that. But yet was also just highly intelligent. And I feel like the spectrum is more to give you understanding that there are degrees, because you can have very high ADHD where or autism where it's very difficult in maybe certain settings to have them to maybe act or to be like say for instance Head Start. You may have a degree where you have a child that is very functioning with their learning and also with the certain tools and things that we use. We have different people coming in, doing different types of therapy with the kids. They you can help them, and I feel like that's in all kids. But yet I feel like that, yes, once again, that the spectrum is just showing that you can have levels of where it is, I guess, very high, or you can see a lot of attributes in that child, and then on the other end, you may can have just some of those attributes.
Yeah. Okay, I get it because my oldest son, he's autistic, and the thing about it is he plays drums, and he taught self-taught himself to play when he was like 3. But he was basically playing on
Exactly.
pots and pans, and then we started getting him bigger and bigger, like the advanced sets and the real sets, and basically he could, and he didn't listen to like hip hop. He loved like country and rock and roll and orchestra, big bands. So he could hear
Okay.
something one time, as soon as it comes on, he can catch the beat or the rhythm as soon as it comes on. He doesn't have to be like, let me listen for a second and start playing. As soon as it hits that first beat, he's already on it. I'll tell y'all a quick story before
Absolutely.
I jump forward back to Jacob. So we was at Panama Beach about a year ago doing Labor Day, and it was one of these little dive bars out there. He called us and was like, "Oh," he said, "Damn, all excited. They gonna let me play a set with him, or a song or
Okay.
whatever with him." I was like, "All right, cool." So we went out there and watched him, and he was in it. I guess the band they've been playing there probably for 20 years, and it was just this older drunk guy out there. He was like, man, he kept telling the head musician, he better than our regular drummer. Next thing I know, my son was playing 3 sets with him or whatever. And he was like and it was an older white redneck white guy. He said, y'all can go ahead and leave. He said, I got my pistol on me, so he good. Ain't nobody gonna mess with him. You know what I mean? So, but yeah,
That's
but he just
awesome,
went
though,
out.
man.
Yeah, so yeah, and that's just. So I understand that whatever they call it, the left side of your brain, whatever it is, that
Yes,
functions
sir.
like
And
double
and
time,
and
almost on steroids. You know what I mean?
yes, and
So
honestly, I wish that what I mean. Sometimes that we would take away the. Sometimes you would get a negative connotation by saying that a child may have ADHD or autism, but also just understanding that it's just saying that a child is a different type of learner, which honestly, in my opinion, all children are. So you'd be amazed at like how kids that may be on the spectrum from one end or the other are still, amazing and intelligent individuals.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead, Jacob.
So my nephew, um, he's autistic. So you know how kids like watching the Marvel comics like Spider-Man and stuff like that. So if he watches the movie and then he wants to turn and get the DVD, my brother, which is his dad, he would have to buy him a separate DVD so he can see the making of Spider-Man or the making of Wolverine. He he he's he he want to see how it was made and how it was created. Like he don't like video games. Um, he like things like that, and he like tractors and lawnmowers and want to see how starter is put on and want to see how my brother fix the HEV or side by side and want my brother to show him what the wrench say if it's a three by 1/4. He want to know what this three means, what this 1/4 means, and man, he want to measure the other wrenches so he'll know what wrench to hand my brother so it can be jammed up. So I say that autism kids are different, and ever since he's been in school, he's made nothing but straight A's. They tried to they had me with my brother in wanting to put him in with regular population so many different times, but my brother feel like that he won't get the learning tools in general population that he would get, in the classroom that he's in. So when it comes to parents that you deal with on the daily, when they're dealing with kids, who may have autism, ADHD, or even dyslexia kids. So
Yes, sir.
what are some of those conversations that you have to have with the parents to get them to understand? And then do you guys give them literature and tools so they can get a better understanding on who their child really is?
Absolutely, man, and that can be a tough conversation sometimes. Because any child parent, you at first may have this concept that something is wrong with my child, and I try to reassure our parents that it's not an issue of something being wrong with your child. Your child is a special type of learner, and I also am an advocate for once again that I am not the person who is diagnosing kids, but I am about utilizing whatever tools that are possible if they may be once they may have been diagnosed that they're now getting some type of service that's going to help that child, or if that child needs to be in maybe getting a shadow or being in a different classroom setting that is adjusted or accommodated for their type of learning style. I definitely feel that is very important. And, also reinsuring the parent that, once again, that this is not a battle that you fight alone. I feel like that is very important in what I do as well. I never wanted to be that teacher that, they like, okay, that was Mr. Aaron. I had him, whoop, whoop, whoop. I really um, I I buy in, so I want parents and students to buy in and understand that even when it comes to education and having a teacher, that this is not like a 1 year, 2 year thing. I try to keep up with as many kids as I can, and just helping them to, and like we say also, any type of literature that we may can facilitate to them to help them to get once again a better understanding of whatever it may be, and also dyslexia is something that we also deal with as well. But also with the day and age that we live in, there is a lot of information out here that we definitely try to get to our parents to help them to understand that it may be different, um, but yet uh, it is just a tool to help you to just help your child to be the best that they can be in all aspects. And like Jacob mentioned earlier about he was saying how the I want to say maybe it was his cousin that he was speaking about with the mechanical and also when it comes to teaching, understanding they kids learn in different ways. Some kids learn by seeing things. Some kids learn better by hearing things. Some kids learn better by hands-on, mathematical. Some kids even learn better outside. There's so many things that can be the catalyst of a kid learning. And I feel like another reason that I've been with Head Start so far, well for so long, is the beauty of the fact that it's bigger than teaching them their ABCs and counting and handwriting. I'm really in a place where I can inspire learning, the want to know, and curiosity of learning about things in life. And sometimes, especially at an early age, that is something that can be to me very powerful.
Okay, okay. So with with the educational and all the different governmental programs, the education programs. What are some programs that parents should be on the look for in the next few years that you've already heard about?
Well, there, there, and even right here in Dillon, man, I must commend. There are a lot of individuals and groups that are doing some amazing things. We have Mr. Bobby Porter and his tremendous program. He's a mentoring program for not only boys and girls. We also have the Boys and Girls Club. There's also another program, a 4-H program that I've been blessed to be a patronage of. They really impacted my children. Right now, my daughter just won the national competition where she started a public speaking program at the middle school. And she won on the local level, she won on the state level, and now she won on national, where she was awarded $10,000 to continue her program, which has got recognition from the mayor. She's actually going to branch off and do a summer program. As well as I'm doing the summer camp, but she's going to do her own summer camp, man. And she's just in the ninth grade. But there are a lot of programs that are doing what is important. And what I feel is the most important is mentorship and education. Right here in Dillon County, I don't know if you did any research on the crime, the education, the poverty level. There are a lot of things here and just Dillon alone that sometimes even me as an educator can feel overwhelmed at the job that needs to be done, man. We have a lot of youth that are just dying for nothing when they could, just choose to live for something, bro. And it's heartbreaking to witness some of that, but also sometimes it's motivation to try to impact and reach the ones that we can, man. And we can only do that better together. It's never about me and you. It's always about us. Um, we all are educators, mentors, leaders in our own aspect. But sometimes it's also about empowering that next brother to walk in his life and do the things that is necessary for us all to just help our future be brighter.
Right, right, right. And it's funny you say that, man, because with all the crime rate going up, and cause um being from South Carolina, and understanding that how the crime rate has increased about 77% in the last 10 years is crazy to me. And so I when it comes to the education, what age do you think a child should start the STEM program? And do you think that every school should at least offer the STEM program to students?
Absolutely. And as early as possible, man, when it comes to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, man, it's and we do it with Head Start, man, and you can do it with some of the simplest things to incorporate that. But we must spark that catalyst in our children to make them want to learn, and that's also giving them avenues and exposing them to things, and sometimes as early as possible, because unfortunately, on that opposite end, they are getting exposed to a lot more, a whole lot faster, in the negative light, and we got to try to balance that on the opposite end, and I also, dealing with predominantly African American children in my after school program. Um, One thing I feel like uh, I deal with is helping them to have an understanding of them. Unfortunately, I feel like a lot of our African American youth um, don't know who they are, so therefore, sometimes it's easy for them to emulate and do what they see, and automatically assume that this is how I'm supposed to be. When sometimes uh, it takes someone like a Mr. Aaron to tell them something as simple as I had a kid the other day, and I called him King. And I could tell by the way when I called him King, he looked at me like, and I said to him, "Has anybody ever called you king before?" And he was like, "Nah." And just little things just like that, calling kings and queens, giving them a understanding or a self-confidence of self sometimes can really change a child's behavior, their academics, and that's why our slogan here is intelligence and character. It's not necessarily always about your retainment of knowledge. It's also about, with that retainment of knowledge, how you carry yourself, how you interact with others, how you treat this world and the people that live in it. And with those two things together, I feel as though anything is possible if that's what you truly want.
All right, I'll come back to you, man. But if you can put that last question that Randy asked, I don't think we covered that.
Yeah, the last question was, as an educator, you're responsible for teaching kids, but hold on, teaching kids that what have kids taught you about not only yourself, but about life in general. So I guess basically you teaching kids and what have kids have taught you in return.
So many things, bro. Oh man. One that immediately stuck out is how sometimes kids can be very true in their judgment of people. How they can feel energy, they can feel sometimes how a person energy is. They've taught me love. They taught me empathy and understanding. Man, you'll be surprised of how, like, even sometimes as an educator and the things that I'm doing, I can't help but also be RaShawn Aaron. And RaShawn also has, things that goes on outside of being a teacher, outside of being a facilitator, but yet going into a situation where you have to put your mask on, you have to be a certain type of individual, and still seeing that kids still can feel you, uh, give you a hug, and just say something awesome about you that just uplifts your soul, man, in the perfect moment. Um, also, like they say, the way kids, and especially at early ages, the way they love one another, especially when that has been the norm. That is from when you set a house of love, just seeing how they interact with one another, man. Like an example of that is just having kids, especially early, of different learning levels, and just seeing how you have one kid that go in there and she'll maybe grab another child's hand and put them in line, or help them open their milk, and those things I feel are so invaluable things that we can teach our children, man, when it comes to honestly loving and caring for any and everyone, man. And they have been great examples of that. They can be very honest. Also, I've seen it where it's on the spectrum of not even realizing sometimes how their reality is a norm, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, this may have been what occurred. Sometimes it can also be uh how they may casually, you just sitting there in the house area or building blocks with a child, and they will express something that has occurred or that they've seen, and say it sometimes so nonchalantly, to the point where you know you can tell that you can't truly uh, understand what a child may be going through, and also having to come to school and wake up early and learn his letters, and do all of these things as well. And I feel like also, as an educator, most basic necessities have to be met. A child has to feel loved, safe, protected. They have to sometimes not be hungry, not be sleepy. There are a lot of basic necessities that have to be met sometimes. And in my field, you sometimes you wearing a lot of hats. I'm a teacher, but sometimes I'm a doctor. Sometimes I'm a negotiator. Sometimes I'm a shoulder to cry on, a level of comfort or safety. You have to be a lot of different things, and a lot of times, well, I'm not going to even say a lot of times, but that can, on an educator, be sometimes a lot. And it's amazing to me, man. I've been teaching a long time. I've been dealing with kids a long time, but I've also been working since I was 15. I've done every job up under the sun, from working at South of the Border 18 times. It's a little place near here, a little tourist attraction, but doing all types of quote unquote work. But there has been nothing that wakes me up in the morning, man, and helps me to put my shoes on and do the things that I need to do, than the kids, and feeling as though I'm making a positive impact. I'm planting seeds that will one day grow and be the beautiful trees that they were meant to be.
Okay, so I got probably just one couple more questions for you. One, and we see that word head start, and I think we kind of take that word for granted. And what I mean by that is when you say head start, so if you're in a race and say, I'm gonna give you a head start. So basically I'm giving you a head start to give you the ability to be able to get off faster, and almost like I ain't say a cheat code, but just to give you a boost to be able to get ahead along in life. So just talk about as far as the importance of you got Head Start, you got preschool, you got pre-K. Because all these things, one, you look at it from two different ways. You look at you can find those kids that they may need that extra attention when they get to kindergarten and first grade. Then you find those kids that's remarkably above their their age level or whatever grade level as far as their intelligence level and where to put them and to place them in the right situations. And even when it comes to you may not could tell a parent this, but a lot of times you probably like this kid need to be in a private school versus being in a public school. You know what I'm saying? Just based off of the knowledge or what they may really need. You know what I'm saying, or where their advancement is or whatever. So just kind of talk about the importance of being on the level of just Head Start.
And yes, Head Start, something is very important. And Head Start is designed to give a classification of children a boost. But in all reality, unfortunately, um, Head Start came about because stats were showing that low income, poverty stricken kids were behind. Even when it came to even levels of 2 and 3 years old, even the acknowledgement of even hearing a certain amount of words. There's actually you can Google it. There was an article which came out and said that low income, sometimes poverty kids were almost 3,000 words behind, other kids that were, at a certain income level. And with that, actually, Lyndon B. Johnson was, I think, the first person who put the Head Start program together. But yes, it definitely gives, kids that may, for whatever reason, definitely need, that boost and that extra help. It also can be a place where um, kids that are already, maybe more higher on that academic level or level of intelligence, and a lot of things play a part in that, you know what I'm saying? And I've seen it all. I've seen kids that I feel as though they definitely needed every single thing that Head Start was able to give them. But then I've also seen it where you have kids that they come in exceptional. They come in where they know all their letters, they know. But then I also feel as though one thing that I love about even Head Start and some pre-K programs is that even with our curriculum, I have the ability to individualize with that child that may need that extra help when it comes to their shapes and their letters, and then also advance that child that may need to be working on something as far as sight words, or they already ready to read. And that's one thing I feel like is that I enjoy about Head Start as well. But then I also feel as though sometimes Head Start can get this misconception that we are not putting in the work like a public school may. And I have definitely, experienced that before where even where a child, in my opinion, may not have, I felt, been ready to go to another to public school, that they may have been better and would thrive better in the environment that they had already been in for a year. But then sometimes a parent can have this misconception, oh, they're going to the public school, that automatically they have better resources, they have better teachers. It's just going to be better. And that's something that I really try to encourage my parents, that Head Start is a 2-year program. And honestly, with where our location is, we're dealing with a lot of African American children. And with an African American child, them being comfortable and an African American setting, where the janitor is African American, the teachers are African American, the custodian is African American, that can also help children to have a sense of knowing, and with that also can help them to be prepared when that situation changes, where they may not have a custodian that looks like them. They may not have an educator that looks like them, that they are still able to find themselves amongst a different environment.
Okay. Well, brother, I appreciate you coming on, giving us some time. Everybody subscribe to 910 at SNE. But I do have one question for you, and this is off
Okay.
the teacher part of it.
Okay, gotcha.
Being that you a basketball head, I'm asking all my sports heads, give me your NBA Finals pick. I'm putting it on the spot. Yeah, I need my two teams.
NBA Finals, man. If Wemby don't get no more concussions, man, I see the Spurs or OKC coming out. I definitely feel as though it's coming out the West. But the Spurs with Wemby and the team that they have, I definitely seeing them making a very strong push. If I had to put my chips on it, I would say San Antonio Spurs, man. And my brother, he gonna feel some type of way about that because his team is Houston. And, LeBron has been, playing on a whole other level right now. Yeah, he on the blue steroids or something, bro. I don't know what to say.
So what's your East team? Who they gonna be playing?
My East team. I like the Knicks and I like Boston. But if I had to pick, I would say Boston, man. Tatum and Jalen. Jalen been putting in work all year, man. He one of those quiet monsters. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna talk too much. He going in there and he going to put in work, man. And then with Tatum coming back, they gel well. I like Derek White. I like a lot of their pieces. And I can see them coming out the West, but I don't see them winning it all.
I got Boston and I got OKC, and the only reason I got OKC, the only problem I got with the Spurs, and they probably dealt with a little bit with Wemby being out already, is the experience and the going through the, because most of the time you got to go through a little something before you get to the mountaintop. So that's the only thing that scares me about them. They haven't really gone through the trials and tribulations that you have to go through, other than Wemby being out that one game. But as they go into get a little bit deeper, because next, and they might get lucky because let's just say Minnesota pulls it off in the next couple of games, and with Anthony Edwards hobbling around, that would probably be an easier series than it should be. You know what I mean? Because even if he comes back, I don't see him being Anthony Edwards. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what it is. You play basketball.
It did not look good,
that knee injury, it don't heal up like like that. You know what I mean? So even if you don't show it, it's there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You may not show it. The people may not be able to see it, but it's a hitch in your step, or that explosion may not be there. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Or whatever that you normally have. So to me, that would help them get to the Western Conference Finals. And then, like you said, OKC, the thing that OKC has that nobody seems to have except for Boston last year and a couple of years ago was that depth. Like they can throw 5, they can throw 10, 11 guys at you and be like, Lee, I thought we gonna get a break with the second.
That part. They don't skip a beat, bro. They come out there and they ready, man. They a well-oiled machine, bro. They really are.
But but I appreciate you coming on tonight, giving us your time, just kind of just teaching us about, because we haven't had many teachers on here. I think you may only be maybe like the second one, and that's in 7 years. And that's not the purpose. That's just the way kind of things go, and we try to get people on here like yourself, especially in today's time where I think a lot of time parents need to hear this kind of stuff when it comes to the educational system and their kids and what to look for at home when you're dealing with certain kids. You know what I mean? Or kids, you need to know you always need to know where your kids at educational wise, and don't be so a parent where you don't say, oh, I know my kid needs some help. Or, you know what I mean? Because don't be that
Yes,
parent where you know,
absolutely.
you see something, your kid sitting around chewing on shoes and eating crayons too many times or doing stuff you know that ain't normal, then you may need to get your
Absolutely.
kid some help. You know what I'm saying? Stop it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. You know, before it's sometimes without getting the proper help, it can end up being, more worse than it would be if they did. So sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
early prevention, early acknowledgement is something that is definitely very important. And one thing I do want to say that I tell all the kids at the village, and I tell the parents as well. Is that even when it comes to education, I run a after school program, and it's unrealistic for me to say, hey, I want 40 kids to make straight A's. But what is realistic is just giving them an understanding of how those things go together. It's not necessarily about making straight A's, because there are plenty of people that I know in life that had straight A's, honor students, but then when it comes to quote unquote being successful in life, you would say that they may in a way have fell short. But then also on the other end, there have been plenty of students who grades may have not been, at straight A's. They may have got a couple C's, couple D's, couple of F's, but yet they were also able to still, equate success in their life, quote unquote. And so I want, parents as well as children to understand that it's about putting those things together. The work ethic, the discipline that school and education can give you, but then also putting that together with how you treat people, how you act, how you love one another. And I feel like that is truly, like, once again, what Martin Luther King said, the true goal of education. And my job is to try to help everybody to see that goal, that mission, and the power of it.
All right. Appreciate you, brother. And have a great and wonderful year. Rest of the
Yes,
season year.
sir.
I know you probably ready next 2 months go back so you get your R&R for a month or so and reset your mind.
Hey, yes, sir, absolutely, man.
Yeah,
I usually take about yes, sir. I usually take about a week off, and then we start right up with our summer camp, man. We learning
okay.
365 around here, man.
I
Kids,
know
kids,
that's
and no
right. I know
kids.
that's right. I ain't mad at you, brother. Well, I
Yes, sir.
appreciate
Thank
you.
y'all for
Anything we
having
can
me,
do to
brother.
help out. Yeah, brother, we
Yes,
got
sir.
you. All right.
Thank you, brother.
Right.
Brown skinned girl, and she knew I was out to go and clear my mind.